What was my schedule like as a Jehovah's Witness? That was the real question. And I figure I'd answer it. Sundays, I would get up around 7:30 to take a shower, shave, the basics, put on a suit. Have to do a smell check because they called me out at Theocratic Ministry School for that one. Um, Febreze it. Yeah, it was a time-consuming process. Make my hair, make sure it's decent, slather on some gel because it's got to be in place. I noticed one of the issues I had when I went to the Kingdom Halls was I have asthma, and it was like 20 different types of cologne and perfume. After I left the society, I have flashbacks with that smell. It's irrelevant, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to subscribe. So Sundays were quite chaotic because I'd have to study my watchtower before meetings. That way I'd be fresh about it. And then I'd get to go in, get in the car, drive 20 minutes, walk in the Kingdom Hall, and be there half an hour early or more to be able to socialize and have fellowship. That's what they called it. Initially, it was all loving and everything, love bombing. So nice to have you, good to see you. After I was baptized, that kind of went out. We would sing I think it was a song, it's been a while, a song, then a prayer to Jehovah. And if we were lucky, it wouldn't be a brother that would drone on and on and on for 20 minutes, having a wordy, lengthy prayer, taking everything into account from animals to New Zealand. He would just pray and pray. But thankfully, we'd have brothers that were like, yubba dub dub, thanks for the grub, amen. That's the prayers that I'd prefer. So I'd sit there and I'd listen to the talk. And I found when I was in there, I preferred the more articulate brothers. I'm not very articulate, but yeah. Circuit overseers was always nice because they were usually well trained at public speaking. My own relatives were horrible. So that would go on for 45 minutes. If we were lucky and they didn't decide to run over, which at my congregation happened to be quite a bit, then we'd say another song, from house to house, from door to door, Jehovah's word we spread. The prayers were, I found out later, a form of not the prayer, well, yeah, but the singing, it was the Kingdom Melody book because that's how far back I was in it. And I found out later that the singing and the songs were kind of a form of brainwashing. And I noticed during the songs, you'd always have that one brother or that one sister who liked to sing above everybody else, that tried to be like, look at me, I'm so much better at singing than all of you. I think they should have a choir at least to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we would begin the Watchtower study. And the brothers would ask questions in relation to the Watchtower. You'd read a chapter or a paragraph or two paragraphs, and then ask questions. You'd read a paragraph, two paragraphs, then ask questions, and that just seemed to go on forever. I usually wasn't prepared because at the age of 13, I pretty much was physically in, mentally out. I mean, I tried so badly to re-brainwash myself, which I don't know is a thing, but I tried so hard because when I first got in it, I was just a fire with zeal. I think they say the fire in the belly. But that didn't last as long as I would have liked. I guess when you're a little kid, and then my family left the truth for a little bit because my grandmother was disfellowshipped, and then we went back. Somehow mentally and physically, and even while my grandmother had been she stayed disfellowshipped, but my mother, I went back. That was it, pretty much it. I went back because my mother wanted some books and magazines. We'd do the public talk, and it would just go on forever, just like I'm doing right now, sidetrack and then back. The public talks were good. The Watchtower was always boring, very boring. And the whole time, everyone was worrying about coughing and sneezing, which now it's probably worse with COVID, but I remember being in there and it was like a panic attack every time you cough or sneeze, like anybody cared. And then it would wrap up with another prayer. Thankfully, my uncle did not like to go out on field service on Sundays. I guess when you work a full-time job, like I was doing, you don't have time. So we just went out and had lunch, which was nice. I mean, that's the part everyone looks forward to anyway, at least from what I've discovered. And then we'd go home, change, thank God, and get dressed and go about our days, which usually was pretty nice afterwards, despite the fact it was pretty much early to late afternoon by the time you get home. And then I'd have to get ready for work, clean, do my chores. And by that time I was exhausted and would go to bed and then have to be up at 5:30 for work on Monday. And then I would work all day till God help me if I had overtime. Monday I'd come home, relax, do my Bible study for the week because our book study was on Tuesday nights, so Monday I'd have to get that done. Then Tuesday I would go to work and start that process all over again. Then we'd have book study or Bible study. And that was fun, not because it was at our house. So I had no reason not to go because my great uncle was an elder. And then that would go on forever because they always like to eat afterwards because my great aunt liked to put on a show. And then by that time, it would be time for bed and I'd have to get up again on Wednesday, get ready for theocratic ministry school. Then I would work all day, do that, go to bed, wake up, go to work, come home, get ready for theocratic ministry school because I'd have to put on a suit for this for some particular point, even though it's in the house, my uncle's house. That was absurd. And then Friday, I would get up, go to work, come home, relax. And this whole time, you got to shave, you got to keep your hygiene up. It was unbearable. And then Saturday would happen, which was my day off. Saturday and Sunday were the days I had off, but I had to go out in field service on Saturday from like 9:30 to 12:30, 1:30. And on Saturday, after I got home from field service, I'd have to prepare for Sunday again. So as you can see, they keep such a constraint on your time that I had no free time between work, Bible study, and doing things for the organization. I maybe would be able to get an hour or two. I all through the week never slept in, never had any options, never could sleep in. I played sick several times on Saturday on Saturday and Sunday because I was just so burned out. But if you keep a person constantly busy, they have no time to think, right? But you see, I was physically in, mentally out. So at this point, it was like, oh, God, help me, get me out of this nightmare situation. It just kept going on and on and on. And you go to these meetings and you realize they're being snarky. Most people in there know, a lot of them I know are physically and mentally out, but if you leave or aren't in good standing, you start to lose friends, like here at this point in my life. A little bit and a little bit. My uncle actually, I'd missed 2 meetings and 2 Saturdays in field service. And he looked at me and said, if you keep missing meetings and quit missing field service, you will be marked. And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize this was a thing, because my family left when I was like 10. I went back at like 12 or 12. A lot, I don't know. It's been a minute. But I knew just a little bit of what freedom was like. But the whole belief system doesn't hold water. It's like a sieve with a crack in it, just a little bit at a time. I hope this helps you guys. But then you got to think the whole time I'm attracted to men, and my uncle constantly says derogatory statements about people who are not and Jehovah's Witnesses for little reasons. They were Catholic. He actually said that about my great aunt Betty. He's like, she's a Catholic. Really, you take advantage of her when you come up to Ohio. You stay at her house, you eat her food, even though you make an ungodly amount of money, and you are going to run her into the ground because she just happens to be Catholic. I know this video wasn't very good. I just woke up and my mind is all flustered. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Did you suffer burnout when you were in the society or the organization? Was that like a thing for you? What was it like for you to be physically in and mentally out? I would like to know. Thank you guys for watching, guys and gals and everybody. I appreciate it. Much love. Always seek the truth, just not that one.